What is up, y'all? It is your girl, brand new, and I'm coming back to you with another video. Today, the topic will be about child support. I have been on YouTube, I've been all on social media, Facebook, Instagram, and you see little memes and people talking about child support and how it's not fair, and to me, they come from a one-sided perspective. What I would like to say is I feel that every person that is not with their child's mother, that doesn't really, like, let's say you guys may have an agreement with each other and you may not choose to put your child's father on child support because he actually does what he's supposed to do without being told to do it. You have an agreement, that's fine if you don't want to put him on child support because he is doing what the hell he needs to do. But then there are men out here, I've heard one man in particular, he was saying that even if, he said something to the effects of, oh, well, even if he don't pay child support, he still should be able to see his child. That's questionable because it's like, why aren't you able to see your child? Are you watching the child? Are you being a good dad to the child, taking the child out, Chuck E. Cheese, McDonald's, out to dinner? Are you taking the child shopping? Are you going to the library and reading with the child? Are you just reading, period, with the child? We really have to discuss parenting, and is the person really doing what they are supposed to be doing? And 9 times out of 10, a lot of people, they're not doing their part. They feel like, oh, well, I don't do nothing for the child and I should just be able to see the child whenever I want to. The game don't go like that. Nobody wants to attach themselves to nothing. We all want something. We don't. If I'm working my ass off, I'm doing all I need to do to take care of my child. You should be doing the same thing. How are you better than me where you don't get, you don't have to give your time, give your money. If I'm giving my time and my money, you need to match that. You know what I'm saying? So I just feel like it's ignorant when people say, well, he don't have to really do too much for the child and he should still have rights and be able to see the child. No. And then another thing I want to talk about is there are men that are violent. They have domestic violence situations where they are violent. They have a bad temper. They will go off at the drop of a hat if you disagree with them. What people need to understand is we are responsible for our children, even if it comes to a point where we have to not have our children around people that are violent. And some of you may say, oh, but that's her father, that's her mother, it don't matter who the fuck it is. I covered this in my Titles and Boundaries video. Just because you have a certain title, it does not mean that you get to act any fucking way you want without any consequences or repercussions. You cannot be out here putting your hands on people and then thinking, oh, I pay child support, I should still be able to see my child. No. Because who's to say you won't do the same shit to the child? Then as a parent, that mother has allowed her child to go with somebody that's violent and dangerous. And so a lot of people may say, well, you should have thought about that, before you had a baby with somebody. No, people change once you have a child with them. The whole dynamic changes. No relationship stays the same. A lot of times people will show their true character. They will pretend so long to be so cool, and then once you have a baby with them, once you decide you don't want to be with them, then it's all with all these fucking dramatics. They're flipping out and acting crazy and want to attack you, and So I realize, I'm going off on a tangent. We are talking about child support, but at the same time, all of these things are intertwined. So I see people on social media talking about this, and they're just like, well, no matter what, a child, needs to be, they need to know who their real parent is. True. under certain circumstances. Like I said, you cannot be negative and disrespectful to the child's mother and think you're going to see the child. You can't be physically violent and damn near kill the mother and think you should be able to see your child, because all of that shit is shit that you possibly will do to your child. You have a good chance. If you did that to one person, I guarantee you that child pissed you off, you go do the same thing to them. So we cannot put our children in harm's way under any circumstances. If you love your child, don't put your child, in those circumstances. Get a hold to the law, get you an attorney, let them know, hey, he's dangerous, he's violent. I can't, he could just pay his child support, but I can't deal with that type of behavior. That is life or death, and you really want to do what's best for you and your child. Don't worry about, oh, that's the father, no. Nobody has a right to abuse you and disrespect you and treat you that way. And so this was really supposed to just be about the child support, but I would like to talk about domestic violence for a minute. I feel like with domestic violence, if you are being hit, ladies, you need to report it to the police, to the sheriff immediately, and get you some kind of paperwork where you have a restraining order against these men. Do not stay with anybody that is violent. Trust me. Get the hell away. Don't think about it for 1 second. You could be here one day and gone the next. You know what I'm saying? Like, people are crazy. People are crazy. They lose their temper. They don't know how to deal with life in a mature way. And a lot of times these people don't change. I'm not saying that nobody can change their ways. Some people can if they really want the help. But you have to admit that you have a problem before you can get help. And a lot of these men, they refuse to admit that they need help. They're always blaming somebody for their actions, for them getting loud, for them trying to hit you. It's your fault. No. We can have a conversation without you wanting to fight me, without you being rude and obnoxious and disrespectful and trying to degrade me and put me down. We can have a good conversation. So don't let nobody tell you that, oh, well, we just had a disagreement. No. A disagreement can happen without violence. It really can, so don't put up with that. Immediately get away. Get away and tell people, let people know and let people in to what you're going through. Because if people don't know what is going on in your life, they cannot help you. So now I want to flip it back over. I know y'all like, damn, bitch, you all over the place today. I want to flip it back over to the child support, because this is one thing I forgot to bring up. Another thing that does irritate me with child support is women that know damn well they child's father is a good man. That he takes the child out to dinner, takes the child shopping, helps the child with homework, always gets the child on the weekends. All of that is good behavior. I mean, it's good. It's letting you know you have a great child's father. So ladies, do not go and try to get more child support. When you have a good dad like that, like, come on, make do with what you have. Now, if you feel like he could give more and you really struggling, then that's a different situation. But don't be greedy. Don't use child support as a come up, as a way of, oh, you doing all this, you going shopping, you going on trips. No, let me try to get you to pay more child support. No, don't be greedy like that. Appreciate him for what he's doing, because trust me, there are a lot of women out in the world that would love to switch places with you at any moment of the day. They would love to be in your shoes with a man is actually helping out with the child and the child's needs without, asking to get the courts involved. So, if you have a good situation, ladies, make sure that you are trying to get along with the child's father if he is being, respectful and cordial, of course. But don't be that girl where, I need more money. I need my hair, my nails done. I need to be going on trips. And he got it don't be jealous of his success. let his success be an example to your children of what to do. And when you are co-parenting, you guys are coming together to be an example for your child. You're saying, hey, we created you. We have chosen not to be together, but we got your back 100%. And we are willing to be a team to help you navigate through life. That is what you are saying and doing when you are co-parenting. So, I think that co-parenting can be good when people are willing to get along. But like I stated before, you have a lot of bitter people out here that refuse to do their work. They refuse to get help. They refuse to acknowledge they have a problem. So, we can't all have these Brady Bunch stories of being good co-parents or being a good family. We can't all do that because we all don't have those type of people that we're dealing with. We have people that are really trying to make our lives a living hell and doing, just everything negative. Have you ever been so positive to a person and they still so negative? They still have to start arguments and start fights with you. That's ignorant. That person is showing that they have a problem. So, that's pretty much what I have to say, about child support, about domestic violence, and those type of relationship issues. It is your girl, brand new, and I am out.